The girl. Let her go!
Shut up! Come closer, and I kill her.
Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. My very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before Mia and I ever met. Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck.
What does it matter to me? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Water, Sandy! Water, Sandy! Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty. Yeah, we're really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, don't move. We've got just around.
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyways, I just wanted to say I'm really sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes.
February 16, 9:24 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. Do I gotta play as Mia again?
Oh, I'm so nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. I never should have accepted this case. Ah! Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia.
I didn't do nothing, I swear. I didn't kill nobody.
Terry Falls, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago and now a prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyways?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I didn't do nothing. I ain't killed nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere.
Oh, but Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago.
Sorry. I told a little lie.
Oh boy.
But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody.
I'm sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry.
You sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. Well, I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that.
2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, a policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. The police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman?
Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped.
If that match is true, he did meet with the victim.
But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive, it's true.
I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Ah.
What? You're not going to figure out the truth just by staring at the guy.
Why are you here?
I came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big city. Her big scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with.
Where's Mr. Grossberg?
That old man is probably still in bed. Probably dreaming about his hemorrhoids. I bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego Armando.
I didn't say. So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices, is here for me.
No. You've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine, an escaped death row convict for a first client.
Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though.
Relax, I just heard some good news. The prosecutor for today is fresh out of his diapers as well.
Really?
However, unlike a certain somebody, who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career.
A genius?
Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time.
It's showtime. Solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. He makes me think of a JoJo character. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. Because I'm different. Because I'm Mia and everyone likes me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Murder me. February 16th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4. Oh my god, it's a baby Edgeworth. You're not my judge. Wait a sec. You're not my man. Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers from both sides are newcomers. Yes, Your Honor, I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone is talking about, eh? They say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor.
I guess our little kitten hasn't earned herself much of a reputation yet, huh?
Come on, Mia. You can't lose. Not to someone younger than you. Young people running a trial, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct?
Precisely. But the defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, a policewoman was murdered.
So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death.
You got it, kitten.
Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement.
Yes, Your Honor. It was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. A truly horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence, so the trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony.
Don't you pull the Von Karma finger on me. I will cut you. I don't care if you're younger than you normally are. A witness's testimony?
The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. For those who aren't aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful currents. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered.
So Miss Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. That policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be...
Exactly, the victim. The same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne.
Alright, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago. It's short but good. Alright, I'll take your word for it. I don't like that I gotta be this guy. I don't, you're not my guy. Where's my judge? Oh, but I was taken off the case this time. He took my job, and my pen. With only one thing on his mind to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now.
Huh?
Yes, yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty.
Oh, wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor.
Okay. Watch yourself, Miss Fay. I'm not sure I care for your word choice. Or your tone of voice.
No, stop it. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders.
Why, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness.
I call the detective who was in charge of the initial investigation of this case. Oh, are we gonna see a baby Gumshoes? Yeah, well, he actually looks the same. Witness, state your name and occupation.
Gumshoes, Dick Gumshoes. I'm a homicide detective in charge of this case, sir. I finally got promoted to detective division half a year ago.
I don't believe anyone asked you about that.
Oh, Mia, you didn't have to do it to him.
Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it is?
What is it?
You're really gorgeous.
Excuse me?
No, seriously, my heart, it's aching for you.
Why is everyone who's in the past so, like love-struck? Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional, otherwise I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache.
Okay, I got it.
Man, they were trying to, like, lower his pay that early.
Now, detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran of the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. As much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more detail about the incident itself. Yes, sir. I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there, on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured by the police, or at a police checkpoint. He was trying to make a getaway, sir.
Yeah, new judge. Who dis?
I see.
Bridge located 40 feet above Eagle River.
Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there.
Your Honor. There we go. If you would listen to the testimony we've prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of the men certainly did meet on the bridge that day.
Why, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not sure I like you, wagging your finger at me as though I am some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir.
Here we go, Mia. Hang on.
Okay, now listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for the morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Summary of the incident.
On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to the Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into the car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain.
Yeah, we got young Godot, who's totally not named Armando, or Diego Armando. A hotshot lawyer, my senior and rival at the office, a big smug. Yeah, we got young everybody over here.
Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge.
Naturally.
Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination coming right up.
Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee.
I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here.
The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, alright? Especially for a beginner.
I don't need you to worry about me. I mean the defendant. The witness. Everyone's a beginner in here.
You got me there, but maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you've got, kitten.
I don't like that he refers to her as kitten.
It's okay, Mia, stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all night watching.
Hey, pal. It's me in the past. I'm here to tell you about the future. You lose your money. You get robbed. They keep demoting you to the point where all you can eat are noodles.
Okay, on the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant. This unknown person? You have no idea who it might be, right?
Sorry, but I'm afraid I do.
What?
The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls.
What? The defendant? The defendant called her?
Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls.
A note?
Yeah, a top-secret memo that she left in her desk.
Confidential police materials written by the victim.
According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls.
Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me?
Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer.
It's that detective's fault. He's the one who said unknown person.
Hey, now, don't make that face at me. I just said said it that way because the prosecutor told me to.
Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky.
Look at me, I'm Baby Edgeworth. They'll never catch me. I forge evidence, because I'm a Baby Edgeworth.
Hold it! A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there?
Because it is a very important place to the defendant, that's why.
What do you mean by that?
If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he was killed the hostage. And the place where all this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested the handcuffed Mr. Falls. Returning to the scene of the crime, how nostalgic.
Weenie! Was the body of the victim discovered right away?
Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, "Don't move. We've got you surrounded."
Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that?
The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant
Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right?
If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive.
I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. Hold on, I have evidence. I don't have that many evidence. Alright, Valerie's autopsy report. Stabbed with a knife in the back. Died from blood loss between 4 to 5. Bridge located 40 feet above the river. Confidential police written by the victim. February 14th, 121. Falls 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Dahlia Hawthorne was the poison chick, right? So are we dealing with her sister in this case? Hold it! Mr. Falls had a car then.
Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right?
What? You mean the defendant drove his own car?
No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light.
Car thieves? I'm not sure how I feel about the car thieves.
I mean, this judge just isn't the same. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything?
This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk.
Yeah, that looks like a body in the trunk.
Naturally, the body of Valerie Hawthorne is in there.
Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable.
Crime photo added. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct?
Yeah. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back.
We're talking about a woman here.
I can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back, nice and firm.
The condition of the body when it was discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car?
It's like they made that portrait, or they made the this other judge, and they're like, well, we have to use the other judge. For at least something. What did the defendant have to say about this photo?
What he always says, ma'am.
I didn't do it, or not. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing.
That's all he says. Nothing. I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. It's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says,
Sorry. I told a little lie.
or something like that. Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested.
Precisely.
Mr. Falls was arrested at the police checkpoint.
That certainly is some impressive police work.
Well, no, actually, it was way too close for comfort. We set up the checkpoint just after 5 p.m. We figured that Mr. Falls might just try to run.
What do you mean it was too close for comfort?
The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint.
That was kind of close. Any later, Mr. Falls could have slipped right by.
Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony.
A trap?
Walk into it carelessly, it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh?
No, it's not.
Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you better get some more information. If you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You could always look for contradictions afterwards.
You have famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those. I've always wanted to find one.
Well, he did give a time at the end. Um... 4:30, the bridge, wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia, yada 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 yada. I like how they marked 5 yards in the trees. That's where she was brutally murdered. Well, she wasn't brutally murdered, she was just stabbed. Sergeant Hawthorne went to the Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Let's get a refresh on this. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder.
It was great. You know what they say, when you finally catch that filthy criminal, and you put him behind bars.
Okay, well, they point out that one for being a little sus. All I can think of is that and the time. Because they say they caught the guy at 5, right? Hold it! Yeah, he said 5, I skipped over it. What do you mean it was too close? The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30, and it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. That was kinda close. Any later, Mr. Falls could have slipped right by. Listen up, yada yada yada. There's a big trap waiting for you. The fabled contradiction. Wee wee. Wee wee wee.
Turnabout beginnings.
Crazy that they wouldn't make this like the tutorial case. Like I think they should have just. They probably had this one made and they were just like, well, we don't want to flesh this out into an actual thing, so we'll just put it partway through. Because people love playing as Mia. Everyone's favorite character. Wait. What did the defendant have to say about this photo?
what he always says, ma'am.
I didn't do nothing.
Nothing. I wouldn't say he wasn't nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. It's just he always says, Your Honor, and that's what he always says.
Well, he said there's nothing wrong with it, but it's clearly that the trunk had been broken into.
Or something like that. In any case, it seems he was caught and arrested precisely.
He literally just says, here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange. Do you? I do see something strange. Okay. You know, I took a gamble on that one. Not like I can call out the picture itself, I guess.
Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint set up at the police alarm.
It's the first thing. Why am I struggling already?
Well, wow.
Your Honor, what do you think of the witness's statement?
I think you're full of bogus.
Who let a woman on the stand? Wow, Judge, that's kind of insensitive.
I don't have an issue with that.
Wow, you're really a prick. He's not like that other judge. That other judge is so much cooler, much more handsome. This one's just kind of... eh. Boing, boing, boing. Well, we got this note. But I don't know if that note really applies just yet. Stuffed her body in the car trunk and tried to make a getaway. The criminal stuffed her body in the car. Here's the photo of the trunk, but I didn't see anything strange. Do you, anyways? I like that he just glosses over that. He's just like, nah. You know, I think things are chill here. Even though it's like clear that there's like a thing. No, not you. I don't like that he's on my side. I liked it when he was like trying to like stop me. Why are you a good guy now?
That's where she was brutally... Oh, wrong guy. That's where she was brutally murdered, sir.
Yeah, boy. The day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Well, didn't they say she didn't call? Am I dumb? I guess I am dumb. Your Honor, what do you think of the witness's statement? Yada 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 yada.
This too is bogus.
Okay, let's just comb through everything. Let's just... On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time to meet with Dr. Fall, or with Mr. Fowles.
And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into the car trunk and tried to make a getaway. There's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange.
It has to be this. Like, this is because he obviously, like, I'm already almost dead. It's, What here proves that this one's, like, weird? Stabbed with a knife in the back. Well, we can't see that because he said there wouldn't be any blood because of the coat. And the knife is even behind her. Dusky Bridge, I don't think has anything to do with this. Falls 4:30. At bridge, wear white scarf for identification. Well, she's not wearing a white scarf, so... that's something, I guess. Let's lay it down. Wait, hold on. Crime photo. Oh, wait, that's what we're looking at. Hey! Witness!
What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Fay?
I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that.
You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Fay, I'm not sure I like this.
Safe there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy?
Candy?
Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee.
Come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective. This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct?
So I was on the right track. I was on track for the wrong reason.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, then I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim.
The note?
It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like, thus this special request.
I
have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo.
Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am.
And you stopped there, you should have looked for it.
The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that.
Oh, wait. When I tried to make a case for them not making a call, she didn't tell anybody about the call. She left a note beacon for that. I'm dumb.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this?
I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you're searching so desperately for, is it this one, perhaps?
That's not white.
Where'd you find that, sir?
On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation.
Why didn't you tell me, sir?
I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know. That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic.
So am I, supposed to lose? Am I going to lose this? Because I'm going up against Edgeworth, who had a perfect record.
It's not exactly white, as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for.
It looks like it spent some time in the mud.
Not surprising. It was drizzling on the mountain that day.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, he was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time.
The court will accept the scarf into evidence.
Worn by the victim at the time of the incident found on Dusky Bridge.
Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is all right with you, isn't it, Miss Fay?
Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck.
Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusivity, and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on that bridge that day. Furthermore, we will show exactly what occurred there.
That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Everything is moving at his whim.
Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius.
A genius, huh?
Events on Dusky Bridge.
Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo, accidentally taken by the witness, it shows the Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day. Unfortunately, it's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyways, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off.
How would he be able to stab her if he's carrying a ball and chain?
Looking at this photo, you really get the sense that this bridge is very high up.
It's about 40 foot drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below.
Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyways?
It was me. I mean, let's just say it was a pretty well-intentioned third party.
Potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify.
The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
So as you can see, Terry Falls had both the opportunity, or the motive and the opportunity. And I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge.
Aha! The truth is becoming clear to me now.
Huh?
Yes, it's quite obvious he's clearly guilty.
And not again, that's not fair. I haven't even done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, This judge is not cool. I don't like this judge. I'm gonna say it. I think I've already said it, but I'm gonna say it again. Not my judge. Not my judge. Not my judge. Hold it! Who is this eyewitness?
She's a college student.
A female college student?
That's right. Meaning she's female and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her.
Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her.
For the time being, we're not relying on the witness's statements, that is all.
But what is that supposed to mean?
The prosecution has other more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student.
A female college student, eh?
The judge popped up and I almost did the normal judge voice.
It means she's female and a college student, sir.
If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why.
Who?
Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question.
Hold it! How did she stab him, or how did he stab a man if he was holding up a ball and chain? The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, alright? So about the witness who took this photo. What was this person doing all the way in the mountains?
She was taking photos of wild flowers, apparently.
There are many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Miss Faye. People in that area say it's because of the spirits that live there.
The spirits? Now that you mention it, this photo, this cloudy fog-like thing, is it a ghost? I don't believe it.
No, Your Honor. I don't think it's a ghost.
Hold it! Drizzling, huh?
That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. But not as dreary as the mood that this courtroom is right now. Haha.
Did he just say haha?
Looks like a cold front just moved in. In any case, the point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog.
I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something.
Yeah, and if he dropped the ball and chain, he would be dragged with it and off the bridge, you know? Hold it! Is that some part of the witness's testimony as well?
Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach.
Wait. But he's in front of her.
I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal.
Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed over, or were you the one getting pushed? What does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian.
It is I, the Canadian. The Hawaiian samurai has returned. So if you're nasty, look for the right person.
Huh?
Take a look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself.
Hey, watch where you spill your coffee. The court record, huh? Yeah, he said, yeah, he's in front of him. Weenie! Hold it! So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh?
That's what the witness said. Well, it looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. But from what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am.
The area was wet from rain, the bridge was probably wet too. Which would explain why the scarf was all covered in mud, but there's something about this testimony that's still bothering me.
Talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo.
So what do I do?
You really still believe in Mr. Crybaby, I mean?
Of course I do.
So the little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer is obvious. If you want to believe it in its truth, then that means that somewhere hidden in that testimony is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance.
Why is he also wearing red? First, Grossberg was wearing red, and now he's wearing red. Did I do it on the wrong thing? Your Honor, what do you think of this witness's testimony? Her statement. What? What do you mean that wasn't it? The photo literally says shows they're standing right in front of each other. He can't shove her from behind. Well, shows the Vic wearing the scarf. Bam, bam, bam. Did I not show the right picture? No, I did show the witness's photo. Anyways, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Well, it's definitely the most sus thing here. So maybe it's a different picture? Because I guess if she got shoved from behind, she would have hit the ground on her stomach. Well, as it says. And her coat would get dirty, I guess. But it's a bridge. How much dirt can be on a bridge? I guess a lot. I guess there's a lot of dirt on a bridge. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct?
Yeah, and fog too. Just generally foggy atmosphere. Or soggy atmosphere.
Let me flick my hair. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere.
But this is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk.
Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right.
Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what it isn't right.
Dude, I'm already down to 1 health. Take that. Naturally, the answer is right around here, I think.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth.
It seems to me that Miss Faye could use a trunk herself.
What?
One that she can hide all her bitter memories from this trial in, that is.
Ho ho ho! You truly are a genius. A genius of sarcasm and wordplay.
Oops. It looks like I really put my foot in my...
Was I wrong?
That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial, nor is there any need for the time to decide against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant Terry Falls guilty.
Well, I suppose that is lore accurate.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Well, we complete the case. Objection! So what did I get wrong? Well, I guess where I put the finger. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, enlighten us. Tell us what's wrong. What is wrong with the photo that doesn't fit with the condition that day? Did I just not select the right spot? Maybe I needed to be a little more over here?
Naturally, the answer is right around here, I think.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth.
I think I got it wrong again. Okay, I got it wrong again. What do you... What? This is clearly what I have to do, so what am I doing wrong? Like... I don't know. Do they want me to, like, pick her face? I can pick her nose. I can pick her knee. I could pick this button, or this button. This one. I'm gonna pick... This button definitely does look different than the rest, if I had to say. The belt? Nah. Yeah, let's push this button, see what happens. Actually, the answer is here. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. Where am I supposed to be picking? Maybe it's not anywhere on her stomach. I'm gonna select right here. Naturally, the answer is right here. What? Okay. Tell me how what I selected was any different than what I was selecting a second ago. I was selecting the coat.
The victim's coat. As far as I can see, there is nothing strange about it.
That's exactly what's strange. Recall the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky Bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on that bridge, then the front of her coat should have been covered in mud.
That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled.
I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If Your Honor had fallen into the shower instead of on a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet, but not muddy.
Fortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken.
Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day?
That's what I was saying. The surface of the bridge, huh?
A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like this.
Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. It's the scarf, because the scarf's got mud on it. Here's the evidence that proves the surface of the bridge was muddy.
My scarf.
The evidence is this scarf.
Ah!
It should be obvious. If the scarf fell into the bridge, or fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means that the bridge was obviously covered in mud.
No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo.
Hey, same to you, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, pal.
Miss Faye's assertion makes perfect sense to me.
I do admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and her scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction?
His face is different now, because he's like younger. Huh?
For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we?
Alright. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here.
You're doing pretty well for a little kitten.
Mr. Armando.
No matter what he says, a contradiction always comes down to a lie. It's either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness's testimony that stated she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? The false evidence isn't one of those three.
What you said just now, I'm not sure I like that.
That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was the coffee aficionado over there that said it.
This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know.
Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into the court.
So is this why Godot hates me? Is it because Mia died? Is that where this is gonna go?
We won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as flimsy scam it really is.
Yes, the false evidence in this case is the... It's the It would be the scarf. Or the witness's testimony, I guess. You know what? I don't like the way you say things, Gumshoe. Your testimony is stupid. It is a no-brainer, obviously. It's the witness that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, is that testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen?
Yeah, that's what the witness told us.
Oh, when they said witness's testimony, I thought they meant Gumshoe. I was like, Gumshoe's not a witness. That testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all.
That's true.
It's not just true, it's the truth. If there was truly a decisive witness in this case, I'm certain that boy Wonder over there would have called them in the first place.
Your Honor, the defense requests the cross-examination, or to cross-examine the eyewitness. The testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contradictory as well. Man, day one Gumshoe was already having it rough.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that you'll need to hear from your mystery witness after all.
You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. We're prepared to present our witness at any time.
Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time.
What Mr. Edgeworth said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth?
Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes.
This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. If the battle begins here and I'm already half dead.
Witness, what is your name and occupation?
Oh, brother. She's back. Everyone is so silent that I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter.
Oh. When I look at you, how can I put it? You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes.
Well, hold on, man. Hold on a second. You look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes. What is a double-double?
I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite.
Hey, not so fast.
As I said before, this witness is very sensitive and delicate. I would ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you can learn a lot from this man.
If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me.
Sir!
Yes, my dear.
This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyways, I just wanted to say I'm really sorry for all the trouble I might cause.
Not at all. It's no trouble at all.
Now then, may we please have your name and occupation?
My name is, Melissa Foster. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literary department.
You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct?
And you were the one who took this photo. Is that accurate?
Wah! How can you be so mean?
Now see here, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that?
Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous.
Next time I'll be forced to penalize you.
Oh, I don't like the turn that this has taken. Get her off the screen. Get her off the screen. Is she staring at me?
And you would be?
The defense attorney. My name is Mia Fey.
Well, I don't like the cut of your jib. I see. So you are.
Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best.
The witness's photograph.
I was using my camera to take some pictures of wild flowers Then, I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. That's when I heard and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police.
By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred?
I believe the map would be of help here.
I was standing right here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs.
So you took the photo from that location, eh?
I brought the camera. I was using it at the time, just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to.
Oh ho ho! What a cute camera, just like its owner.
Alright, buddy, calm down. Melissa Foster took the witness's photo with a small but powerful model. Isn't her name wrong?
Alright then, Miss Faye, time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again, and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel.
Oh, no!
Saving the game, saving the game.
Hold it!
Did you say wildflowers?
Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers.
But it's only February.
Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come.
I know just how you feel. It's just like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard until mine grew in properly.
Would you mind if we got back to the facts of the case, Your Honor?
Not my judge. Not my judge. Was there anything strange about the two of them?
I'm a bad girl. I know I am. It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there. So I decided to watch them, like some kind of peeping Tom.
It's literally the same thing as the tutorial case.
No, not at all. Everyone is like that. I love watching other people fight too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I took this job in the first place.
Too much info, Your Honor.
In any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching, especially dressed as they were.
Well, anyways, I was watching them very closely. Suddenly, they started fighting. They started throwing hands. It was quite the spectacle.
Do you have any idea what they were fighting about?
No, I have no idea. Why do you ask?
Oh, I just thought maybe you overheard what they said.
No.
I would never eavesdrop. I've got more class than that.
That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level.
Okay, they didn't penalize me. Why did you take the photo?
Well, you know, when you're about to witness a murder, you just kind of do that. Well, the two of them were really going at it, like, really. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kind of took over.
Smells like a lie to me.
Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. I still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on.
So he wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearings on this.
Is your son Mo?
All I could do was to use my camera. So I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police.
Hold it! You called the police?
Yes, because it looked to me like the murderer was going to try and escape.
We were already moving before the call even came in. Thanks to the victim's note, we had already started our operation.
Oh, there's a moth here. He also wanted to join the case.
That was certainly tough luck for the criminal, eh?
If Terry Falls isn't the criminal, then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony. There must be something strange with this moth that's harassing me. Begone, demon!
Be careful, kitten.
What?
The loudest moth I've ever heard in my life. Maybe it's not a moth.
That girl has the judge wrapped right tight around her little finger. You're going to have a tough time poking holes in that testimony of hers.
You're going to have to come up with something really good, Mia. Like, super duper mega good. That's when I heard it and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. And right after that, I called the police. Then I noticed there was 2 people standing up on the... Well, if you look at, Dusky Bridge here... I guess, question mark, you could see it? Well, because she said she was standing right there in that corner next to the E. But if she was standing there, she couldn't... Technically, she couldn't see that. Right? Depending on where they're standing, I guess. Like, you can maybe make an argument if they're, like, at the edge there.
Suddenly, they just started fighting.
Witness, when you said you took a photo of the crucial moment, is this what you meant? That's not even a crucial moment. They're just kind of standing there.
Ah!
All I can see in this photo are 2 people facing each other. Okay, so I was right for the wrong reasons again. You testified that you saw the 2 of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that?
Oh, well, you see.
The photo we presented was the only one there was.
But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it.
Oh. My apologies, young lady, but Miss Faye's assertions is not without a certain amount of merit.
He can certainly downplay a situation, can't he?
I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up, the film, I mean.
You ran out of film?
This photo was the last one.
What? Well, then you can't take that. No, you can't. It doesn't work.
Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself playing among the wild flowers.
The witness herself? Then who took the photos?
Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it.
So you took the photos of yourself?
I remember taking some photos of myself once, too.
Man, you know what a camera is? The other judge didn't even know what one was, I don't think. Please, no details.
It seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all.
Wait, just a minute.
Nope, no can do. Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more pictures, eh?
Miss Foster, perhaps you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet.
Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed.
Yes, Mr. Judge.
Boy, this guy really is a sucker for the sweet talk.
It looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all the attention.
Yeah, it's sickening. Other women getting attention aside from me. I can't even stay dead in this video game. I have to always show up at the heat of the moment because I want my attention. Wait. This is the same testimony. Did we just get nowhere? Like, what happened? I was using my camera to blah, 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 blah. She only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back. 10 yards. That's new, the 10 yards thing. The victim turned around and tried to run away.
Suddenly they just started fighting. The victim turned around and tried to run away, but she only got about 10 yards before she was stabbed in the back.
Where's this thing? So he's coming from the car. Because that's where the cliff is. Or that little cliff she's standing behind. Or the...
Miss Demon! That's why she's standing back there. So if he is walking away from the car...
She couldn't run because the bridge is broken. Because if this 10 yard, or this 5 yards is anything to go off of, you take 2 of those, and that gets you nowhere. Because the bridge is out. That's right, I've got you where I want you. Witness, your testimony is a joke, a sham, a useless piece of dialogue.
Ah, but what? but I just...
Miss Fay, I thought I warned you not to make the witness cry.
One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse.
You say there were two contradictions?
It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area.
So how does Mia lose this?
According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then...
She would have hit a dead end.
You said 10 yards, but she couldn't have even ran 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side.
Whoa! Whoa! What does all this mean?
It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told a charming little lie. That's all there is to it.
This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court. Impossible, women can't lie.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Wedgeworth.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion.
Don't tell me the bridge wasn't broken at the time.
What do you mean?
There's one major mistake in this diagram.
What did you say?
What are you referring to?
It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge, we couldn't find any official blueprints of it.
So you're saying...
I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disarray, or disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident.
That's ridiculous.
You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo.
Yeah, no, I looked.
I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. The guy is good.
Huh, what do you mean?
He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, alright. The diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy.
What? That coward.
Well, Miss Fay, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation.
I'm so sorry. I should have been more careful myself.
No. It wasn't your fault at all.
Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish, once and for all, what it was that the witness actually saw.
Indeed. All right, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony?
But it's so hard to go on.
Well, we're all on your side, Miss Foster.
There's no need to worry, just tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir.
Can we just get her off the stand? Running from the crime.
After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
Witnessing such violence must have been difficult.
Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up.
If he accepts this testimony as it is, we're finished.
Don't say that.
Oh well, maybe I'll stop off at my favorite cafe on the way home. They make a really great mocha latte.
This trial isn't over yet.
That's what I like to hear.
All right, Miss Fay, your cross-examination, if you please.
The contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack.
Running from the crime.
Alright. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. But he could throw her off the bridge and it would have done the same thing. Actually, it probably would have been better for him. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm only supposed to talk about what... Oh wait, I'm supposed to be pressing this, I'm stupid. I'm sitting here reading this like I've already pressed them all. Are you saying that the victim didn't fall down on the bridge?
Actually...
Of course she didn't fall down the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that was the case, her coat would have been all muddy.
If you don't mind, I was asking the witness.
No need to be so rude.
Well, young lady?
Well, of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could.
one step too slow.
And then, what did the defendant do after that?
Man, to see Edgeworth with some life in his eyes is crazy.
Hold it!
You personally witnessed that?
Yes!
Did anything strange happen when he did that?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not. But when the victim's scarf fell off...
You mean the scarf?
The words match what we found in the scene. I don't see any problems.
Weenie. I suppose.
You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? He couldn't have, because he has a ball and chain.
Yes.
Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult.
Yes.
Yes, but let's remember, they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to have carried a dead body on a bridge like that?
Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. The kind of talk is just silly.
How? He did get... Or why did he get so emotional all of a sudden?
Miss Faye, if you think there's some possibility, please share it with the rest of us, please.
Well, it's like, not that. I mean, he's got a ball and chain strapped to him. So, like, to drag that over carrying it, it's just like, what are you doing? It's like, having to drag that and carry her would slow him down so much. And even then, it would add probably a lot of weight to the bridge and probably break it.
Wee wee. You couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge.
Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge, hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide the corpse would be going overboard, wouldn't it?
Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. A surprising number of people go up there.
But it's February, right? And it was raining that day, correct?
There's a small temple and a channeling dojo there.
No.
You know, those monks. They just love cold, isolated places.
I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse could have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with her own eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw.
And you're absolutely certain that it was my client who was carrying the body?
Well, he was wearing a prisoner's uniform, but as for his face...
So you're saying you didn't get a clear look at his face?
Well, they were far away and it was raining as well. I thought I was only supposed to say exactly what I saw.
Excellent. You're a remarkably honest young woman.
Something's about this testimony is bothering me, but what?
Hey, kitten, have you ever put salt in your coffee?
No, why would I?
Why not?
Huh?
It may actually go better with coffee than sugar, right? Listen, my point is, if you're not sure, you might as well add a ton of salt to it. It might bring out the result in or the rust in something, like a piece of evidence.
He's right, Mia. Go present something. You've got nothing to lose.
By the way, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee. The two don't go well after all.
Okay. Melissa Foster took the witness's photo with this. Has a timer function. Seems to have been taken by the witness. I mean, if it has a timer, I'm not gonna overthink that one. Worn by the victim at the time, a photo of the trunk, confidential police material, bridge located 40 feet. I suppose that was the only thing you can make sure the body stayed hidden and carried her over to the car. You can't just leave the bridge on top of the body. I mean... After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only... I suppose that's the only way he can make sure the body stayed hidden. I don't think that's true. Because you could just kick it off. Be like, okay, goodbye. And then it would have, it would end up washed away in the river. And it was raining, so I'm sure the river was really going that day. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm only supposed to talk. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with my gut. I suppose that was the only way he could make sure the body stayed hidden. I would present the map for this. Because it shows the river, I think.
A killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving the body for that purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found.
Well, what is it?
Take another look at the map of the area and you'll see how. The river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something interesting about the river.
For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall in are never recovered.
In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. Oh, no! If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above that Eagle River, you can bet your boots that every other killer would have tossed the body in the water.
Order. Now, I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Fay, but I must admit it does seem odd that not to have thrown the body into the river.
Oh!
Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
Ugh, how sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature.
What are you talking about?
My point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw.
Quite true. Miss Fay, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all.
But what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous.
Surely you can't deny that. The body was found in the trunk of the car.
That certainly consistent with what the witness has told us.
Oh.
Please, witness, go on with your testimony.
How much can she testify? I'll try.
All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again.
Who is he talking about? All right, I'll do my best. How much can she testify?
Oh, wait, no, it's continuing.
What?
Does that might mean there's something at the end? No, she didn't add anything.
What?
The killer broke into the trunk of the car. Well, you couldn't see that. Okay, so that's new. And he carried her over to the car. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You wouldn't know there was a car there. What did the man do then?
Well, naturally, he got in the car and was about to flee. That's when I came to my senses. I said to myself, you have to call the police.
So that's what you called the police?
You're sure that you saw all that with your own eyes? Yes, I'm 100% certain.
Well, it's like she's not wrong. I guess, because the trunk was broken into. But she couldn't have been able to see it. I'm gambling.
Well, Miss Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Huh? Done what? Made a crucial mistake.
A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay?
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. You're saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes. Yes, and... It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from that day, is here. Do you see what I mean? Even if you tried to see the car, this outcropping of rock is directly in the way. Oh! That's right, Miss Foster. From where you were standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. Whoa! Whoa!
I admit that the diagram shows a large outcropping of rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car.
That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see His car just fine.
I'm so sorry, but that just doesn't wash.
What?
I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location that the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge, but the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff.
What?
Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff, but you still claim to have been able to see the killer's car.
No!
Order in the court. What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo?
Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it.
She was reportedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only what she saw with her own eyes.
Oh,
Mr. Judge,
what is it?
I think I must have remembered things wrong.
Get her out. Get her out. Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that.
Miss Faye, no one on the face of the planet is perfect.
Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say? To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to the witness here.
What? That's not fair.
Save the tears for later, kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Don't look back until the trial is over. Now's the time to go forward.
But that wasn't fair.
Okay, kitten, you need to relax and you need to remember. The other kitten's testimony.
The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen and hid the body in there.
So tell me, how did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk?
Aha!
Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom.
Well, witness.
Well, I'm certain that he broke into the trunk because there were marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain they were scratch marks from where he broke into it.
What? Let me see that photo.
Well, there are marks, but again, how did she see it?
It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that the trunk has been broken into. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied?
The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere? Well... Well, she's correct, he broke into it. But like me, she's correct for the wrong reasons. What she just said, is there a contradiction? You know what, I'll buy it. Something about it still doesn't feel right, but... Okay, I guess I'm satisfied, sort of.
I hope this has cleared up any doubts.
Indeed, I believe it has.
Hey, kitten, there's no time to play around.
Huh?
Overlooking such a huge contradiction, what am I going to do with you?
Contradiction? So that wasn't my imagination after all.
Very well, let's move on to...
Just a minute.
What is it now, Miss Faye?
I've got a big problem with what the witness said.
But you just said, I'd appreciate it if you didn't change your mind every 5 seconds.
Hang in them here. Melissa Foster, it looks like you finally betrayed yourself.
What?
You said you were in the field taking photos of wild flowers, but even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get the chance to see those scratches? Finally, I finally got her.
I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. Then perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself.
Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... She put the corpse in herself. She is the owner of the car. She happened to be passing by. She could be the owner of the car. That could work. What color is the car? Is it pink? If it's pink, then it's her. Well, I don't think she put it in there because she would have to get around the giant cliff. She happened to be passing by. She is the owner of the car. Because the stolen car actually belongs to her. That is why she knew about the scratches.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
Frankly, Your Honor, after hearing a pathetic response like that, I have to question whether or not such a pathetic lawyer should even exist.
Did you hear that, Miss Fay? I believe Mr. Edgeworth just called you a knucklehead.
Yeesh, isn't that overdoing things a little?
No! That's enough.
I love Captain Knuckles from Flapjack. Sorry, man, I got you guilty twice. Boop boop beep boop beep beep. Boop boop beep. It doesn't work. Boop 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 beep boop beep. Boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. So then she either was passing by or she put the corpse in herself. Well, I mean, like, from the first case, I had assumed takes place after this, because this is Mia's first one. So if she put the corpse in herself, you know, that would be an issue. So that leads me to believe she was just passing by. She happened to be passing by. Let's try that. Because she just happened to be passing by the area where the car was parked.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
Okay, I guess that was also wrong. So she put the corpse in herself? There's only one way that the witness had the chance to see those scratches.
Yes?
What is it? That doesn't make any sense. Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in herself. The person who really hid the body in the trunk of that car was... Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it?
That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison guard. He's the one that...
I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one to put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the cure key. There was no need to break it open. Oh yeah, I guess he would have the keys, because he Grand Theft Auto'd it.
But he stole the car.
He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Which means that the key would have still been in the ignition.
Oh, I see.
Okay, well when you put it like that, it makes sense. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. That it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in the trunk.
No!
It's preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photo that she took? The corpse could only have been put in the trunk when the incident occurred. And we already know that at the time, she was taking photographs.
Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. It's not that deep, bro. What I'm saying is the shutter from this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Is the shutter for this? What's a shutter? The camera was my guess. Because, you know, it's on a timer, so she could have just left it there. But it says pushed by Miss Foster herself. take another look at this camera and see what feature it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. Why? Why? It's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture.
What are you trying to say then, Miss Faye? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed?
Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes. She was somewhere else. Exactly. She was not in the fields.
Will the defense please explain further?
Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred?
Your mom's house.
And answering that question will also make clear Miss Foster's true identity.
Well then, please answer this question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred?
Well, my guess would be in the trees. Because, you know, she could be the little rat she is. And been like,
I'm hiding in the trees. They'll never find me.
My guess would be she was either on this thing, or she was in these trees. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. You know? So... Alright, let's just gamble it. I'm gonna say she was in these trees. Naturally, the witness was standing right here, and I'm incorrect.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
Before pointing out where the witness was standing, Miss Faye should do something herself. She should figure out where she stands, if you catch my drift.
Oh, don't worry, the drift was certainly caught.
Yes, failure is an excellent opportunity for growth. Now try better next time.
Okay, so I guess she wasn't in the trees. Yes, thank you.
Well then, please answer this question.
Well, she had to be on the left side.
Where was Melissa Foster when the incident of the bridge occurred?
Well, I don't know. Why am I supposed to know? She wasn't down here in the bottom left. And she wasn't in the trees.
So, like, and she definitely wasn't on the right. Because of the broken bridge. Even though they did say, well, the bridge wasn't broken that day, but I don't believe that. They wouldn't give me this map if it wasn't actually broken. She was down here in the river.
But how'd she get the body?
So I have to prove she put the body in the trunk.
She was in the car.
Is it gonna be some dumb thing where, like, she was actually where they were? No shot. Because I know they've done that before, where it's just like, well, actually, the victim was where the so-and-so was. You know what? What? What do you mean she was on the bridge? Naturally, the witness was right here.
What? Well, that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Order. Miss Faye, what on earth?
Your Honor, if I may. Yeah, please explain this to me. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. Well, this would mean that there was no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim.
How asinine. Of course Miss Fallis met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to have put the victim in the trunk is the same man that killed her, Terry Falls.
You still don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? By the time the witness photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne.
Oh my god, we have another imposter case.
What? I've never heard of anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo?
It's obvious, isn't it? It's your own witness.
What?
It's only possible. It's the only possible explanation. She couldn't be in the trees. She wasn't in the car. She couldn't be on the right side of the thing. So we just decided, well, maybe she's on the bridge. The woman that Miss Falls met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster.
Oh, me? But I'm not dead, am I?
Let's remember that it was foggy and it was raining and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Falls himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne.
But the defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted.
Well, since then, my client has spent 5 years, or 5 odd years in a federal penitentiarium. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore.
You're just making this up as you go. Where's your proof?
I've got it all right here. This piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. I have 1 health. At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie looked like.
Sup, Diego? At the time of the incident, Mr. Falls had forgotten what Valerie Hawthorne looked like. Well, it would have been 5 years. Or whatever, and 5 years in the slammer, really does it to a person. But I don't know if any of those matter. And evidence-wise, the camera wouldn't do anything. The witness's photo. I mean, he stopped, I guess. So he could be like, wait a second. Worn by the victim at the time of the incident, found on Dusky Bridge. I don't know why it would be the scarf. Falls, 4:30 at that bridge, wear white scarf for identification. She wasn't wearing a white scarf. So, but was this note for him? Or this thing? Was he supposed to recognize the white scarf, and because she wasn't wearing one? I feel like it's a bit of a stretch. Stabbed with a knife in the back. No, well, that doesn't matter. It's my badge. It's brand new and sparkles in the light. It was Diego Armando. What do you have to do to get a pattern like that on your face? Let's just gamble. Let's gamble the scarf, I guess. Because I guess wear a white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Well, is that who he was expecting to meet? Was Dahlia? I don't know, man. I'm just gonna gamble the scarf.
Mr. Falls had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf.
Ah!
It was Miss Falls who requested that he
Does she wear the scarf to identify herself? That's already been proven by this note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf, like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Melissa Foster?
No!
She's dead.
Blippy, 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 blippy.
Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby.
It's obvious that Melissa Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together.
The only question is, why'd she do it?
Well, isn't that obvious? She's the real culprit.
Ah,
Well, we'll have to wait for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies.
Yes, Your Honor.
understood.
But in the end, I'm supposed to lose this, right?
Very well, this court is in recess.
To be continued. Well, I guess this is a normal... I was gonna say to be continued, and then it's just like, wait, this isn't a tutorial case. How much could there be in this trial? This lady has lied in all of her testimonies. Like, clearly she's not legitimate. February 16th, 1:14 p.m., District Court Defendant Lobby Number 4. Mr. Fowles,
I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're really good. You really hooked me up.
Thanks, we're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime...
Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we've got to get past.
Obstacle?
Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway?
Motive, huh?
Anyway, we're still badly in need of information.
Information, right.
What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. What we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing.
What is it?
Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course.
The kidnapping murder. The murder case that Zebra Boy is on death row for. Was she the one he held hostage?
I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill no one. I never lie.
Mr. Falls, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Tell us why you keep chewing that ball.
Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dreamed of it. Every day. This picture, it reminds me everything. Bridge looks the same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute.
So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years.
Sorry, buddy, but you sound like that. You sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute.
It's true, I did. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Your girlfriend, huh?
Hey, hold on there. Did you say a Hawthorne?
The victim's last name.
Dahlia Hawthorne.
You're Valerie's little sister.
What? Are you serious? The girl, let her go.
Shut up. Come closer and I'll kill her.
Sorry. But you're not going to get away or get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first, I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it.
Wrong. Don't protect sister. Valerie betrayed me. Betray us.
What do you mean she betrayed you?
Everything. All lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping too.
A make-believe kidnapping?
Dahlia, my girlfriend. My love. My teen angel.
How old are you? 25? You were 20? 5 years ago, she would have been 14? Hold on a second, buddy. I didn't realize we were back in the circus. Did he actually say my teen angel? He's seen one too many soap operas.
I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says.
Anything Dahlia says? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by...
Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too.
Valerie was in on it.
Dahlia's family's rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note. We sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond. Tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make transfer because she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright? In the end, you're planning on splitting the $2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman... That woman, Valerie, she did it. She do it for real. She shoot at me for real, me and Dahlia.
Bang.
I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jumped in river. Hunga bunga.
Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you?
I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up in police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me.
That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring 40 feet below.
These 5 years, all I wonder is why? Why? Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. So that's what you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forgot what she looked like, so I tell her to wear scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why'd you betray me? I just want to hear the answer come from her mouth, that's all.
So that's why you made a crazy escape like that.
Just one thing, zebra boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Fowles, where is it?
Huh? Where's what?
Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now. Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know.
Oh my god. She jumped to take the diamond. She took it for herself. Huh, you don't know?
No, really, I don't know. It gone with Dahlia.
With Dahlia?
That day on the bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River.
It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute.
You can come back in now. We're about ready to go.
Mr. Falls, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne?
Never found it. My sweet Dahlia.
You never found it.
Swallowed by river. Gone, Dahlia, my teen angel.
Teen angel, how old was she anyway?
Just 14.
For 14? You were robbing cradles before diamonds.
She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears under the river with a rock worth $2 million? Man, oh man. Angels these days.
Paulus takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a...
It's time, kitten. It looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now.
You bet! Diamond added to the court record.
The training wheels come off now, Mia. You've got to strike while the iron's hot. That's one of my rules, remember it.
Bro, you become a prosecutor. February 16th, 1:49 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Rebel, 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 rebel.
Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better?
Yes, your brother. I'll try my best.
You're a brave young lady.
Not this again.
I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, try to pin the crime on an innocent student is.
What are you talking about?
My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime, that's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have to murder a policewoman?
It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer.
Motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next.
Well, Miss Fay, do you have any evidence of a motive?
Yes, of course. I think.
You're still acting as tame as a kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Listen, a lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside, while your guts are twisted in knots, is the mark of a pro.
Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that.
Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge?
Of course, Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like.
I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why. I at least want you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true.
I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady.
It looks like this witness is a real professional.
What do you mean?
Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her, click, she lights right back up.
Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say.
Melissa Foster's history.
I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college. I'd never even been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster.
Wait, she said 5 years ago.
Out of the country, eh?
Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder.
Indeed.
You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile.
You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. See, why aren't you throwing coffee at Edgeworth? If Phoenix was here, he would have gotten a face full of coffee. Where's the quality? Godot.
Hold it!
So what country were you living in then?
I was living, abroad. But after my parents were killed,
It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alone.
I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification.
What kind of sob story is this? What do I do? Should I press her for more details? Press harder, never pull out. Witness, can you answer my question? I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in?
Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness had any connection to this case.
I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Falls and Detective Hawthorne.
Yes, I think we've established that point.
Yes, indeed. Well then, shall we add what you've just stated to the official testimony?
Yes, please, Mr. Judge.
Not my judge.
Hold it!
You didn't know either person. Are you certain of that?
Yes, I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people.
Oh well, that can't be helped.
Why is he just agreeing with everything comes out of her mouth?
The first time you saw either of them was when they were on the bridge, correct?
Yes, it was really a coincidence. Until I entered college.
So what made you decide to go to Eagle Mountain anyways?
I just loved being outdoors. Picnics, hiking, that sort of thing.
You don't look like much of a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts. But Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here and no trains run through there. There are plenty of mountains that are closer and easier to get to.
Well, I went there once with the college hiking club. I fell in love with its stark, desolate beauty and its cold, yet romantic gloominess.
Didn't know you were such a goth. By the way, what's the name of your college?
The prosecution objects to any questions that involve the witness's private life. All that matters is that she is a material witness to a crime. The witness doesn't need to respond to questions that are clearly malicious in intent.
Thank you, she's really gone too far.
Miss Faye, you're treading on ice.
I hardly said anything. Talk about sensitive. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only that, have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car.
What?
Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing.
Oh, really? And why is that?
The witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that at the time an officer showed her this photo.
That's rather like a rather serious mistake.
It's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book.
That's not fair.
That wicked inmate! I'll never be able to forget that horrible day. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago.
See, this is the line that's sus to me. A grudge?
Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death.
Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such a deep anger against her. So much anger he forgot his own guilt.
My client has always maintained that he's innocent of all charges.
He's rather forgetful, your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot about the poor policewoman as well.
What do you mean by that?
Your client, he forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well.
Well, she's right about that. Mr. Falls is kind of forgetful. Press her harder. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What did you mean by that?
Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right?
Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification.
Why, if I'd been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me.
That's true, he clearly is a bitter man.
This is bad. Mr. Falls' reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? Have it added to the testimony. Your Honor, what the witness just said right now is tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony.
The prosecution has no objection. And after all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. The testimony only helps to further prove that point.
No, that's not why I...
Enough. Witness, if you would.
My pleasure, Mr. Judge.
I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. What do you mean by lucky?
Well, it's February now. Everyone is wearing scarves. If I had accidentally worn a white scarf like he did, or like he said,
then you yourself might have been killed.
That would have been a terrible loss for this world.
It looks like you pressed too hard this time, kitten.
Mr. Armando.
Keep looking around you and you're going to lose sight of the finish line. Justice is blind, but she's not deaf. Sometimes you have to know when to talk.
Wing. Guess I was lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf or kidnapping a poor girl. You knew about that incident, but weren't you out of the country until a year before last?
Well, I saw a report about the escaped convict on the news. They had an in-depth report about his whole history.
So you're still living abroad 5 years ago, is that correct? Or is that right?
Yes.
I can't let her get away with these lies.
Listen to me. She's neck deep in this whole thing. Somehow you're just going to have to get her to show the court her true self.
Guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. But the scarf wasn't white. It was blue. And that's why he took a double... Wait, that's not the picture. And that's why he took a double take. He was like, wait, a scarf, are you the one? I could be far off, but...
That's just what I'm doing.
Witness, I want you to take a look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in this photo, but look at the scarf. the victim wore as identification.
Ah, you're talking about the scarf right here, eh?
Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing.
Do I win or lose this? I feel like I have to lose this.
I've got her now, just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf.
A white scarf?
This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Oh! No!
Well, it wasn't that. It was foggy that day and it was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white.
Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf.
Yes, but what's the significance? It's true that the scarf doesn't look white, but
There's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is
Because of the note. Right?
Witness, have you ever seen this note?
Note? Never.
it's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have.
I wonder about that.
What do you mean?
This note shows Mr. Fall's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear a white scarf for identification.
White. Scarf?
Witness, you knew what this note said. And it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster?
No!
Order! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation.
I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public.
And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Falls is one, the person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another, and finally one more person.
Did you say one more person?
That's right. A person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten?
Yep, that I did. The third person that knew the contents of the note was
Dahlia Hawthorne. Deceased.
Or, I guess you would put... No, it would be Dahlia. Dahlia knew.
And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne.
Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before.
Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time there is her name right there.
What's this? So who is this person? This Dahlia Hawthorne?
Blech. Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life.
The dead?
Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago.
Killed in a crime? You don't mean...
Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls.
But what if that wasn't true? You said she was killed. But was she really?
What are you implying?
Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago when she fell off the Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. And if we know anything about off-screen deaths, if the body was not found, they might be alive.
She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead.
But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster, I believe that's the same age you are.
Oh,
Even you couldn't, Miss Faye. You're not saying...
But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
What?
Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist.
I understand. can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. That was my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm.
Witness, just who are you anyways?
I'm...
I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness.
Yes, I understand.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself.
Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far.
You don't? You don't mean...
Here's some bullcrap evidence I just whipped out of my pants. Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all our clients, or witnesses.
What did he say?
It looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go.
No way, but then why?
If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
But, I thought she died 5 years ago.
We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see,
Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years?
that has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime.
Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder.
Stop waggling your finger. I was gonna say wiggling and wagging, but then I mixed them.
Really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost.
How dare you?
Please let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even when worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her.
What?
I'm inclined to agree with the prosecution's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister?
Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me.
I think you need a little push in the right direction, kid. The defense is prepared to present the evidence supporting our claim. I don't know who that was.
That wasn't me. It was this guy, this crazy coffee addict.
No. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets.
I am sweating bullets.
You think you're in a tough spot, huh?
Of course, aren't I?
No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, it's up to you.
Up to me?
The rashness of youth. How charming.
This coming from someone younger than me.
Now then, let's not waste any more time, Miss Faye. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne?
This diamond, right here.
What is this? Is this the defense's idea of a joke?
If so, I certainly don't get the punchline. Well, Miss Faye?
Oh, that was, the rashness of youth.
The rashness of youth? And what is your point for...
That wasn't it?
Well,
What do you mean that wasn't it? I guess the diamond comes later. Mermy. Man, I really saved a bit further back than I thought I did.
objection! Objection! Your Honor, my name is Edgeworth, and I have the audacity to go against Mia Fey, everybody's favorite character.
Man, I really saved far back. Jeez. I thought I was like right before this. It wasn't me, it was that guy. It was the crazy guy in red. Okay, we'll save here. Man, I did poorly this time around. If we're going off evidence, the autopsy report wouldn't do nothing. The Dusky Bridge map wouldn't do anything. The scarf wouldn't do anything. The witness's photo wouldn't do anything. The victim's note. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. It does talk about Dahlia, so I guess that could work. But that doesn't throw a motive to why she would kill her own sister. But I guess if it says talk to Dahlia, or whatever, that would be implying that she's alive, right? The crime photo wouldn't do anything, the camera didn't do anything, the diamond wasn't it. And I don't think I need to put a profile here. Presenting the victim.
The story starts after Terry Fowles escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia, tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her sister she was going to reveal the world the whole truth.
The whole truth?
There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie.
Welcome back.
To keep her mouth shut permanently.
A terrific story, Miss Faye. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Fowles. There's only one important secret that connects them all.
Oh yes, I know the secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony.
Oh, what testimony?
Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things. Such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Oh, no!
We don't talk about this, Judge. This is not my judge.
Very well, I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it will be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf?
Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles.
5 years ago.
5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Fowles. The ransom, Pierce, was a raw diamond my sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she'd made the exchange, she shot Mr. Fowles in the arm.
Smashing.
That's when Mr. Fowles tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life.
If I knew the Nigel Thornberry voice better, I'd give it to him, but I didn't watch too much of that.
The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe after all that she murdered her sister. Preposterous.
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Faye?
Yes, Your Honor.
As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnappings. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination.
Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again.
If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info with the ace up our sleeves.
What info?
Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged.
Yeah, she said the diamond was passed to him, but the diamond was never found. So if he had the diamond, they would have found it.
That's right. It was a fake kidnapping. Terry Fowles told us that in the lobby.
I do anything she says, anything Dahlia says.
What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by...
Yeah, me and Dahlia. Me and Valerie too.
Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's a secret.
So am I gonna get penalized if I push her on anything? That's what it made it seem like they were implying. 5 years ago, as I was kidnapped, the ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valley brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid she might be kidnapped again. So, maybe I should press, just to see.
Did you and Mr. Falls have a relationship? Yes, as a tutor. You were tutoring him, Mr. Falls? No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Falls came to the house to tutor me. That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14.
He probably came up with the kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in the jewelry trade and are quite wealthy, you see.
Quite well. Quite clever fellow, that Mr. Fowls.
Did I hear him right? Did he just call Mr. Falls a clever fellow?
Oh, okay, I can do this.
Hold it. I heard the diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million.
$2 million? Wait, can I get some of that?
It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk.
A $2 million pint of milk? I don't know what to think about that.
The defendant demanded that her sister Valerie make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual.
By the way, I want to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think he wanted to make the exchange up there on that mountain? If he ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape.
There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety.
What a wickedly clever man that Mr. Fowl is. Yeah, right. It was all your plan. Anyways, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain and... Oh, it's me, Dahlia Hawthorne. Here's the star of Disney. Oh. That was a dangerous thing to do considering you were being held hostage. Yes, but actually that saved my life.
What do you mean?
What? You see, Mr. Fowls was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow, I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. My poor small throat. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me.
I'm giving her a Mickey voice because it's supposed to be like the generic girl voice, you know, that people give. Because, you know, not everyone can do a girl voice, so they just do the,
oh no, it's me, the girl. I'm here to do my thing.
And I gave her it in the last time she showed up, so that's why she has it again. And I didn't know what to give her a voice, because all the women sound the same to me. Or when I voice them.
I'd like to hear more about what happened right after that moment. Well, Mr. Fowls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. Yeah, I was dazed, I turned away. Oh, Mr. Fowls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin.
A bloodthirsty grin?
And in the next instant...
I mean, I could give her Goofy.
I advise the court to remember that the river isn't 18 feet deep and incredibly swift.
Well, I was a strange swimmer, but I was knocked out. It doesn't match. It doesn't match. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. Well, I'll never forget that day. The Kremlin Bridge, nowhere to run. When just one little shove from behind, that was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. It doesn't... Well, I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. I told old Max to be like, hey, hold on a second, buddy. I can't do it. It doesn't fit.
And that's why you hid your identity.
Yes, well, I always told my sister. It doesn't even... It doesn't even make sense with the other voices around it.
Valerie Hawthorne, eh?
Yes, she's the only one who knew about me. It does. The fake girl voice makes more sense.
Meanwhile, legally, this witness has been deceased for 5 years.
Why, I don't ever want something like that to happen to me again. So I decided to change my identity. And that's when I became Dahlia Hawthorne, the Melissa Foster.
And that's the new identity, was Melissa Foster, right?
Yes, my sister helped me get to the official paperwork taken care of.
That makes sense. Without an insider's help doing all of it, the paperwork would have been impossible.
She was the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? Well, there's no way I could. It's the moment of truth for this witness, too. Once the truth about the stage kidnapping comes out, everyone in this court will know all the disabled she really is.
I've just got to prove the kidnapping was a hoax.
I'm gonna be honest, I was not paying attention. I was a bit distracted. Okay, let's read through it properly. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valley brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. So Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money, so I decided to change my identity and start a new life. Okay, well, what do we have here evidence-wise? So they were on the bridge 5 years ago, but where? Did they? I don't think they specified. Well, her sister shot the dude in the arm, which I guess stopped him from using the knife, I guess. And then he pushed her off. But where? Where were they on the bridge? Did they specify where they were? Because if they were like where that broken part is, she would have hit the ground. Well, you know, he was holding her hostage with his left arm, and he had the knife in the right arm. If he got shot in the right arm, you know, it'd catch him off guard, and he'd just push him off.
Oh no!
It's Dahlia fell from a high place.
Well, you see, I wasn't exactly paying attention.
Hold on, let me see if they say where she was.
I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. Well, when Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed, I turned to...
I don't think that exactly shows if they're above the water or above the ground. Because if you asked me, I'd say they're above the water. But it is a little too close for comfort.
I was dazed, I turned and tried to run away, but Mr. Falls turned and grabbed me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second and gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin.
Bloodthirsty grin!
In the next instant...
Blood slim down here. Help me, Mickey.
The river's an 18-feet drop. Well, she said she tried to run. A little shove from behind. So if she tried to run and got shoved from behind, she would have been pushed into that hole and thus the ground. She would have broken her ankles. Was slain by drowned. Hold on, I think we're onto something here.
You've hurrahed your last hoorah, Mr. Goofy. Or should I say Dahlia Hawthorne? You say that Mr. Fowls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe.
But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Fowls.
I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible.
Impossible?
I asked that the court recall the condition of the Dusky Bridge now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you have claimed...
Yep, right into the dirt.
Instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. A most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible.
Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then.
But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference.
You're right. If the events occurred just as the witness has testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this?
You see. Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge.
What? What do you mean?
After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge.
If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct?
Now that you mention it, I do remember now when I fell off the bridge. My skirt got caught on one of the bridge's side wires.
You can't be serious.
Order in the court.
He's still young, you know. He's still learning under, Von Karma, so he has to take his gimmicks. It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion.
I think not. Now, Mia, this is not the time to retreat. Never surrender. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault.
What?
I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible.
Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it?
Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record.
Because your flawed logic contradicts the record. Well, it's not the diamond. It's not the camera. It's not the scarf, not the note. It has to be something that regards 5 years ago. Which I have nothing. Yeah, I'd like to submit everything. If I submit everything, clearly I'm right. This has remained unchanged for 5 years. I mean...
Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there.
No!
But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over.
So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Falls had been shot in the right arm.
Or Mr. Falls, not Miss.
Ah!
And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge, that is clearly impossible.
Order! What is the meaning of this?
Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally.
What?
What is this?
Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark?
Yes,
It's ridiculous.
my sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into the raging river like that would have been suicide.
Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. Yeah, I was also questioning the tiger roar sound. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift currents, because you are an acrobatic swimmer.
What does that even mean?
But even more so, the witness had such more compelling reasons for jumping into the river.
Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river?
The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. Now we use the diamond. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with a $2 million diamond.
Oh,
No, it can't be.
Yes, Dahlia had it planned all from the beginning. The $2 million, she was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. I'd like to point out a 14-year-old came up with this. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Her packback.
Why, that's simply ridiculous.
Order! Oh wait, wrong guy.
No! Your Honor, 5 years ago the witness was only 14. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan?
I don't know, man. I played Amori. You know? This woman is a demon. And there is one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne.
You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well?
But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping?
Precisely. I'm sure that has weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder.
What do you mean by that?
On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia. And then she told her what she was planning to do.
Planning to do?
She was going to tell the whole truth. As she wrote in her note.
That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is, when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister Valerie Hawthorne.
Who was it? Who's laughing at a time like this?
Forgive me, it's just hilarious.
Witness? Is that you?
You amuse me, woman. Miss Mayfair. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you?
Evidence?
The evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. Lad of 14, I plotted with Mr. Fowles and my sister.
Well,
And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million? If you can't provide evidence, at least show that.
Well, Miss Faye?
Hi. Is this how she loses? I don't know.
what
What a joke, you Miss Faye. Are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder.
Well, it seems that we've come to an end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject assertions made by the defense.
Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? That girl had made a fool of me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Without evidence, the trial is over. Who decided that?
Mr. Armando?
Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony.
Testimony?
On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Fowl's stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right?
Yes, that's right.
In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder.
Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who can testify to that demon's crimes? This man. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness.
A new witness?
Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Fowles.
The defendant.
There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all. The Riddler. And that person is Terry Fowles. I just realized his name is Terry Fowles.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this?
Well, it doesn't matter to me. Why not? The prosecution has no objection.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand.
Oh, it's there he falls? Terry Falls? There he Well, look, man, I'm the same guy who saw a guy called Turner Gray and called him Turn Him Gay. Or Turn Her Gay, you know? This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. It's time to bring out the JoJo-looking man.
Defendant, you've heard everything that has been said up to this point.
I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me.
Mr. Falls? I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing's clear. Dahlia is very much alive. And you were used for $2 million.
That's not true.
Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want to answer, or the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne, or was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
Dahlia, did you betray me? 5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other.
Terry!
Dahlia! Yes, it's true. You are alive.
You don't trust me anymore. That makes me sad.
Tell the truth. Tell the real truth. I believe in you.
I shouldn't need to say it. You should already know. But there is one thing that I will say.
My life is in your hands right now, Terry.
Dahlia!
I will allow Mr. Fowles to testify once more, and once only. Well then, Mr. Fowles, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness? Here! I'm sorry, I apologize.
Water, Sandy! Water, Sandy!
Huh?
Talk. You need water.
Oh, well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself.
Who, Terry, something.
That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on the bridge. I watched my car from the bridge. I never put no body in no car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked. Then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia.
Mr. Fowles, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you?
That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial.
Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Fowles? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence?
There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. I think.
Who Terry Fowles saw?
I saw your mother.
Hold it! According to the note, the meeting was supposed to take place at 4:30. You certainly arrived early, didn't you?
It was raining, already dark, too.
You waited on the bridge for 30 minutes. Mr. Fowles?
Eagle Mountain. That spot. So strong. Strong memories.
Why did he just calm up, or clam up? Could it be he's hiding something here? Hold it! You were quite early, so you waited on the bridge, correct?
Yeah, I like waiting. I'm used to it.
I'm sure he is. Zebra Boy waited 5 years to ask a single question. To find out why a woman betrayed him. To him, 30 minutes must have been like a blink of the eye.
It was my car from the bridge.
You were watching the car?
That bridge. Other side is broken. Nobody can come from there. So I was watching car.
What else were you expecting him to do?
I suppose that's the obvious thing to do, but... something's bothering me. I'm getting that feeling. A contradiction.
I wonder what's on the other side of that broken bridge anyways.
No one lives there. There's a small shrine up on the mountain, but that's it.
Anyways, nobody came, no car, nothing.
Hold it! Mr. Fowles, I think carefully now. Are you certain that it was Valerie Hawthorne?
I never lie. It was the truth. It was Valerie. I remember her face.
Wait a minute. If you had remembered her face, then why did you make her wear a scarf as identification?
Sorry, I told a little lie. Well, the woman I met, she was different from the woman standing here now. She was different. It was Valerie. We talked, then she left. Unga bunga.
What did you talk to her about anyways? Mr. Fowles?
Valerie told me the truth about the kidnapping 5 years ago. She said someone needed to take the blame for it. That was all I could do. Or all I could think to do, she said. That's why she lied. Got me the death penalty.
And were you satisfied with that answer, witness?
Dahlia lied. It was my fault. But I don't really remember. Maybe I did. Maybe I did push her in. It don't matter no more. Either way, my Dahlia, my sweet teen angel, dead.
But you just saw... You just saw that she didn't... She is...
After Valerie talked to me on bridge, nothing left to live for. That was why that Valerie was not my Dahlia.
How can you be so sure? It was raining at the time, and sunset that day at 5 o'clock. It would be already been pretty dark on the mountain at 4:30. Please, Mr. Fowles, this is your last chance. You've already taken the fall once for something you didn't do.
Man, this ball tastes pretty good. That woman, it wasn't Dahlia.
Stop right there. What more needs to be said?
Even if it means the death penalty, even if it means taking the blame for murder, you'll still do whatever it is necessary to protect her, won't you, Mr. Fowles?
This is just a repeat of the Phoenix one. It's just a dude who's so brain dead he's gonna defend a clearly guilty person over romance.
You'll still do whatever it takes necessary to protect her, won't you, Mr. Fowles?
I know it's obvious, but he's clearly lying. He's been cursed by Dahlia Hawthorne. He'll pretty much go to the grave still believing in her.
Mr. Fowles?
Even if you can show he's lying, the poor guy will still be cursed. You'll still have to point out the contradiction anyway. That's the curse of being a defense lawyer, I guess.
So, that day at 4 p.m. I stopped the car. I was in front of the building. She wasn't there, so I waited on the bridge. I watched my car from the bridge. I never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. He claims no one was there, so he waited. But... hold on. In the witness's picture, she's on the broken side of the bridge. Which would imply that she was already there before anybody else. So, that's the contradiction. Finally, one woman came and she stood in front of me. Then we talked and she left. That was Valerie. She wasn't there, so I waited on bridge. Yeah, because if he got there first, then he would be on the other side.
So when you were on the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge, you're sure of that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're sure, huh? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Fowles. I'm sure that you're lying.
Huh?
Oh, I'd love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Faye.
You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right?
But that's the victim at the end of the bridge.
We're still in this case.
Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Fowles, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Fowles, you're kind of just groaning over there. Please don't get so worked up. We just want to know the truth.
I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true. I had somewhere to go. A special place.
Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge?
Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love.
A memento?
5 years ago, I hid it under base of a tree.
Oh my god.
There it is!
The bottle that Phoenix would soon eat.
It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I want to get.
This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty.
Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the truth, or hidden the body in the trunk of his car.
No!
Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it.
I've still got a chance. Mr. Fowles, there's no mistaking it. Mr. Fowles?
What?
That's enough, please.
Witness!
I promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happened, that we can't trust each other no more then.
He drank the poison. I guess we knew this was coming, because she's on trial for poison. Or she was like in a courtroom for poison.
We're supposed to drink bottle.
No! Stop the trial! Your Honor, we need a recess!
I was stupid, couldn't keep. Promise. So I did it. I drank this.
No, we're so close. Just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence.
No, don't want that. Don't trust self.
So he was successful, unlike Phoenix. Phoenix ate the bottle and lived. He drank the contents of the bottle and dies.
Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again.
Mr. Fowles!
Mr. Armando. Thanks for the coffee.
Mr. Falls!
He's dead.
Okay, well, I guess that explains why Edgeworth has a perfect record, I guess. You can't win or lose if the guy dies.
And so my first trial ended, suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers.
Except Edgeworth.
I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul, I thought it'd never heal again. Or never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well.
Nah, I'm chilling. What do you mean?
But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face.
Gosh!
Unforgivable, that witch.
Mr. Armando,
We were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten.
it's my fault. It's my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty.
I knew it. I knew it. I wasn't cut out for this.
Mia! Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. What? The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
Mr. Armando.
And then we never saw him again. Right.
No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away and eventually forget them. 1 year later in this very same courtroom, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Me. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict was ultimately handed down to her. Was guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. Me. It's finally all over. At least that's what I thought at the time.
Also, Buddy's in a hospital, I'd like to point out.
Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has to happen. Or has happened that's made me remember all this.
Episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings.